We are over 14% of the population. We are not a monolithic movement. We use different labels to describe ourselves, and we're not all that organized, but we are numerous. When it comes to standing up for our civil rights and demanding a place at the table in the political process, it's time to remind ourselves and our elected officials about our numbers. There are more non-believers in America than there are Lutherans, Episcopalians, Pentecostals, Jehovah's Witnesses, Christian Scientists, Congregationalists, Unitarians, Amish, Baha'i, Zoroastrians, Sikhs, Jains, and Wiccans. No politician should ignore that large a segment of the population, but they do, because we are not yet well organized. Not yet. We need to copy a page from the religious groups in America. We too need to become a well-oiled, well-financed, well-organized political machine. Hello, all you wealthy atheists out there. We could use some of your financial support. My predecessor, John Murray, summed it up perfectly when he said, "We need to learn what Christians know all too well, the value of being a pain in the ass." And that's so true. The rewards of activism are without measure. How can you put a price on feelings of empowerment, fulfillment, pride, accomplishment, involvement, and self-assurance? The more you get involved and take action against those situations and issues that upset you, the less you feel like a victim. There is an old Yiddish saying, my friends, and I like it very much, and it is this: when someone pisses on you, don't call it rain. Some of you are not used to being activists. Some godless Americans don't want to criticize anything about theology because they don't want to offend religious people. Yet in politics, these very same folks have no problem criticizing Republican or Democratic ideas. But somehow religious ideas are a protected class of ideas. Well, not to me. I don't like theism. Just as I don't like racism or sexism. And I do think that this world would be a lot better place without all of them, and I'm not afraid to say so. When it comes to the abuses of religion in America, I do not turn the other cheek. Activism does involve ruffling some feathers. We are going to be hated by some, but I would rather be hated by others than to hate myself for not standing up for what I think is right and for not fighting for those things against those things that I think are wrong. In 1961, John F. Kennedy said, "There are risks and costs to a program of action, but they are far less than the long-range risks and costs of comfortable inaction." The American people don't have anything to fear from us. Godlessness simply means that we accept the supremacy of reason and work towards establishing a lifestyle and ethical outlook verifiable by experience and the scientific method, independent of all arbitrary assumptions of authority and creeds. We prize life on earth and strive always to improve it because we know that this is the only life that we will ever have. We hold that people are capable of creating a system based on reason and justice. Our faith is in people and their ability to transform the world's cultures by their own efforts. This is a commitment which is in every essence life-asserting, because it considers the struggle for progress to be a moral obligation and impossible without noble ideas that inspire people to bold, creative works. We think that humankind's potential is for good and for an outreach to a more fulfilling cultural development is for all intents and purposes unlimited. And what's so scary about that? We godless Americans are everywhere in America. Gays comprise about 10% of the population. Jews comprise less than 3% of the population, yet everyone knows someone who is Jewish or gay. Non-believers in America comprise 14% of the population, so you know that everyone knows a non-believer. It's just that so many of us are in the awful closet. But whether you know it or not, we are your neighbors, your friends, your spouses, your lovers, and your children. We are in the professions and the trades. We run businesses. We work for corporations. We serve this country proudly in the military. We are your fire and police personnel, and yes, we too served in the recovery after September 11th. Wait, I will call you up one at a time by your name. We are musicians like Neil Carey, who is a cellist. We are psychologists like John Scalise. We are computer programmers like Sandra Van Maren. We are civil engineers like Shelley Hatton. We are nurses like Liz Burson. We are railroad workers and proud members of the United Steelworkers of America like James Hughes. We are welfare caseworkers like Michelle Malkin. We are cartoonists and graphic designers like Keith McCafferty. We are astrophysicists like Dave Strickland. We are truck drivers like Jim Newman. We are airplane pilots like Bart Meltzer. We are trim carpenters like Laurie Jewett. We are authors like Lenny Brenner. We are self-employed couriers like Teresa Durkee. We are vocational rehabilitation counselors like Wayne Orgar. We are college students like Brian Berkey. We are psychology professors like Joanne Mooney. We are high school students like Richard Bond and Jay Richardson. We are buyers and purchasing agents for food service distributors like Anthony Brock. We are chemical laboratory technicians like Lance Wilhelm. We are graphic artists like Ann Richardson. We are high school teachers like Matt Carteret, dental hygienists like Teresa Harris, computer operators like Robert Rapp, and attorneys like Charlene Dreyer. Give them all a big hand. Most of you have been working your tails off for years to help with the cause. All across the country, you struggle with discrimination in your schools and workplaces. You fight to stop special rights legislation for religious entities. You are often isolated and alone, yet you persevere to be on the right side of reason, progressive thinking, and the United States Constitution. So for all that you do and all that you are, this day is for you, for pride and recognition. We still need to keep marching and keep protesting, and we need to continue to educate America about who we are and what we stand for. But it's now time to take the next step. I'm asking you today to take that next step with me. When we go back to our communities after this March on Washington, it can be an ending or it can be a new beginning. I want it to be a new beginning, that next step for Godless Americans. I want each and every one of you to consider working with me through the Godless Americans Political Action Committee. It's great that we're here in Washington, D.C., and I know some of you came hundreds and even thousands of miles to be here, that it took effort, and it shows that you care.